Thank you, Minister. I will give responses that are consolidated in nature. Some of the responses are not quick fix, so they need quite some time. We will engage further with yourselves working on those matters. The following the response that I'll give quickly. Meisenberg, police station that is dilapidated. Some of you knows where the problem started and how it came about, but however, that doesn't justify. You would remember there was a project to repair Manimberg, and it was the community that says you cannot go build for us somewhere else, another police station than repair this one. So that was decided, but however, doesn't mean the current police station should be left to dilapidate. From here, we'll be going there, I'll look at the police station, because repair like leaking of water, that can be done by day-to-day maintenance by the station commissioner, him or herself, just buying the necessary things or getting the service provider to do those little work. But however, I will now take it upon myself to go and look at it and make sure that we repair that. On matters of vehicles, a lot of you spoke about vehicles and personnel, and some of you, I could pick up that some on my right have mobilized some on the left. I picked that up, but however, vehicles, I will, myself and the provincial commissioner, we will definitely make sure that where there is shortage, you will get those vehicles within 2 months. But however, I know that this province is one of those that when we purchase vehicles, we purchase quite a lot. We have been delivering vehicles a lot in this province. I suspect maybe the problem is with the repairs, which again, this province was a model for the whole of South Africa in terms of how vehicles should be repaired. And Limpopo province is one of those provinces that learn the model here. And now if you go to Limpopo, you'll never find their vehicles staying more than 5 days in a garage, which they learn here. So I don't know what is now happening in the Western Cape, but we will interrogate that and make sure that it is rectified. But where you have shortages, vehicle is not an issue. We will be able to deliver and give you those vehicles in 2 months from now. But however, when it comes to building repairs, small repairs we will do, but major ones we can't do overnight. They need some processes. Some of you are aware what process it requires. It needs Department of Public Works and so on and so on. When it comes to personnel, I also can't give you personnel now. I don't have. We will give you over time. There are currently students that are undergoing training in the colleges. We can only give you when they come out, which will be towards the end of this year. And of course, they will still go for on-the-job training for quite some time until you get them. But we will be able to give you only towards the end of this year, but not immediately now. But of course, take note that also from 2022 up to last year, December, this province got 3,681 personnel. And currently you have 1,061 that is in the college, not only for Cape Flats, of course, but for the whole of Western Cape province. But we will prioritize where the shortages are. Acting appointments, we are advertising posts. This current, actually, we were supposed to advertise today. We'll be doing it Monday to fill up those posts that you do have where you say there's too many people acting in the province. The matter around the crime of extortion, I've taken note that it comes quite almost everywhere. So One of the plans that we are busy with now is definitely to address both gangsterism and this extortion and or protection. I agree with the speaker. Yes, it's actually Blue Downs police station, but it's called Mfuleni. And Mfuleni, there is no police station. That I'm aware of. We, just before the election, we had a meeting myself with the provincial commissioner, with the city manager, and it's the mayor, yes. With the mayor at his office, we agreed on some temporary measures and the sites to make sure that we build the real Mfuleni, and we take the name of Mfuleni from Blue Downs to real Mfuleni. And that one will be called Blue Downs. That process is on the go, and the mayor was cooperative. He gave us land and gave us temporary working accommodation where we will be. I think I'll give the PC if there is anything to fill up. Oh, Ngabo. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ngabo.
Thank you very much, National Commissioner. It's now my pleasure, as you know, that we work together in all spheres of government. I think some were remarking that we should be working together. We have started to work together. So it's my pleasure now to call our MEC for Police Oversight and Community Safety here in the Western Cape, Ma'am Marais.
Goedemiddag, good afternoon, Molweni, Minister Mchunu, and all protocol observed. Thank you, General Masemola, for the invitation to participate today and discuss the very serious situation which has developed here on the Cape Flats and spilled out to our other communities. It is a long-term societal and criminal problem which is currently spiking, and we need all hands on deck to get this situation under control. I also want to welcome the Minister of Police, Mr. Mchunu, to the Western Cape. One of my priorities is to foster a sound relationship between the National Police Ministry and the Western Cape Ministry of Police Oversight and Community Safety, for which I have the inspiring task of taking political responsibility. I also wish to acknowledge the Provincial Commissioner of South African Police Service in the Western Cape, Lieutenant General Patekile, with whom I am building a working relationship. You can rest assured that I am committed to keep honouring every undertaking I give and do absolutely everything I possibly can to lower crime in the Western Cape. If everybody does that, I believe we can conquer crimes in the Western Cape. I want to use this opportunity to thank every SAPS member here today for your selfless service to Western Cape. I want to assure you that the Western Cape government appreciates you and that we know you form the thin but strong blue line between the province and anarchy. A triangle is much stronger than a two-legged structure, and in the Western Cape we have a strong third partner in fighting crime. The LEAP program is the abbreviation for Law Enforcement Advancement Plan, which has added more than 1,000 well-trained law enforcement officers in the city of Cape Town. Our LEAP officers find themselves in a line of fire. Only yesterday, LEAP officer Lubabalo Mponchana was wounded right here in Hanover Park by a suspected gang member he was trying to apprehend. I will be visiting him and wishing him a full recovery. The situation here in Hanover Park is dire, and it has been like that for the longest time. The city of Cape Town has technology called the Shot Spotter. According to its information, no less than 102 shots were fired in Hanover Park over the last 7 days, of which 40 were fired yesterday. Minister, the Western Cape has for many years been shortchanged insofar as its number of police officers are concerned. According to the most current census, the Western Cape has 12% of the country's people. Fairness demands that it must have roughly 12% of the country's police contingent. This is not a time or place to settle it, but I look forward to our first formal meeting so that you and I can address this. Our province must have more police officers. The Western Cape government furthermore believes that gangsterism is not just a criminal problem, it is a societal problem. Therefore, a unified response will be actioned between the provincial departments of police oversight and community safety, health, education, economic development, social development, and culture affairs and sport to look after the holistic fibre of this community at every level. We will also work more closely with correctional services. And Minister, there will be MOUs between all of these departments and between us as well. Then I want to say to all the communities, ons sien julle en ons luister na julle. We do see you and we do listen, and we will not rest until crime came down in this province. Thank you for your commitment, for all the neighborhood watches, our CPFs, our faith-based organizations, all the individuals that sacrifice hours and their lives to keep our wonderful Western Cape safe. Members of the South African Police Service, I conclude by thanking you again for the service you render. Together we can beat crime in the Western Cape. Nkosi, thank you. Baie dankie.
Thank you very much, MEC. Let me take this opportunity to call the Deputy Minister of Police, Tate Matali, to come and make some remarks and also introduce the Minister.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Program Director, Deputy Minister, Poli Bushielo, and the other program directors that were driving this program with you. I will stand on the protocols as outlined by the Deputy Minister and protocol observed. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's good to be here in Hanover Park, Minister. We literally camped in the Western Cape in the run-up to elections, talking to our people. They said many things here this afternoon. I want to assure you that you have a minister of police called Senzo Mkunu. I know him personally. I have worked with him. We have fought many battles together. He is very meticulous. He is a committed servant of our people. As he said to you, that since he came in, he is going to work on what is there, but he's going to take it to a different level. And I think the station commanders that are here will attest to that, given the interaction that we had with them this morning and the task that they have been given to go and do in preparation for an engagement that we are going to have with them on policing and the strategic position that they must occupy as police stations in the Republic of South Africa and here in the Western Cape in particular. It's a different approach. you can see that, yes, he's from Water Affairs, but he understands governance and what needs to be done. We will work together. The president has given us a team under his leadership. Even the senior management of police, the national commissioner, the provincial commissioner, they have had an opportunity to interface with him. They came to understand and appreciate the person that he is. You are fortunate that the president have given you Senzo Mkunu as your minister. And to police, you will enjoy working with him. Although it's a bit harder, but it's good to work with him. May we all rise as we invite the Minister of Police to address us. Over to you, Minister.
Thank you. Thank you. You can take your seats. Program Director or Directors, thank you very much. And let me thank Deputy Minister Boshielo for chairing this session the way she has done. At some point, I thought she was going to be overwhelmed by the hands that were there. And some of the people spoke very strongly. And I thought she is really going to find it hard to contain, and she just moved on with ease. And thank you very much for that. And thank you, Deputy Minister Matale, for the generous introduction that you have done. Let me thank the MSC for your presence, MSC. Indeed, we did write a letter to the Premier of the Western Cape that he would be here and that we would be pleased if he could have a relevant MSC to come or any other person from the provincial government to be with us here. And we are delighted that you are here. And thank you very much. We also wrote a letter to the mayor of Cape Town. I'm not sure whether we got anyone from Cape Town, the city itself. We will follow up on that matter. But let me thank the National Commissioner and all the officials that are here. Amongst us, we also have the chair of the Portfolio Committee, Ian Cameroon. We're delighted to have you once more. Now, you have freedom to oversight the MSC for Western Cape for sound safety and security, because you have been here and you hear what she has said, and not just oversight us only. Thank you very much. I'll now be very brief. Firstly, to express our appreciation to the community for being here. It's a cold Saturday morning. Not nice to get out of your bed in the first place. Not nice to leave your home, as the pastor was saying. Not nice to spend all these hours here. But we thank you very much as a community. But we also have to thank you for attending other imbizos before this one, the summer of which you were given. We appreciate that. We have already held a meeting with the commanders of police stations and other officers, and we've had our chat But let me just get straight to what I have to say, the few things that I have to say. Just listening to what a number of you have said, one of the words or expressions that were used here is Elsie's River is in the vice grip of the gangs. That was a very, very, very strong word. A vice grip of gangs. And the other words or the other expression that caught my attention, I'm not saying they just as highlights, it was that crime has become a culture. Crime has become a culture. Gangs are taking over the communities. So they've now become some kind of a sub-government ruling over other people in the community. And the gentleman there said it's via services that government is not rendering, and these people come in and they become some kind of a sub-government. And then a need for a comprehensive approach. There are other expressions that were made, but I just wanted to take those first. Let me just say we understand the situation that has developed and that is still developing in this part of our country. And we do understand our responsibility, all of us. But let me just be quick to say, I'm very delighted to see people who are so much alive to their situation. And by expression, people who appear to be so prepared to deal with the situation themselves. Because I haven't heard anyone saying, I just want to sit back, go and do your work. Everybody is saying, I am doing something. We are doing something about the situation in which we are. But we need your cooperation and your understanding from government. But this is us experiencing this. And you use words like, people are fed up, people are tired. And that is you yourselves that are tired, that are fed up. And it's yourselves who are experiencing this in your own area. Other people even said, we are the victims of our own families and our own situation, our own children. We have given rise to this, and now it's turning against us. So you are involved as a community. Now, I'm delighted to hear that because it makes us believe and see that we're going to be working with people who are warm into the situation, not people who are cold, who are comfortable, who are not really worried about the situation. We are worried about this situation. We are concerned about this situation. You are worried. You are concerned. It means we are going to come together and produce something hot. You are warm. We are warm. And therefore, if we combine our efforts, something hot is going to result from that kind of situation. And I want to say I regard all the resources of government at a national level, all the resources of government at a provincial level, all the resources of the city of Cape Town that are dedicated on safety matters of the people of the Western Cape and in the city in particular where we are, As the resources of the state, MEC Marai, without necessarily talking about this is for City of Cape, because the City of Cape Town, these are the people. For you as the provincial government, same people. For us, nationally, same people. So what it means, we need to look at this piece. In other words, this bag of resources. And all we have to say is, how much do you have? And you declare on safety of these people. And we'll say to the mayor, how much is there? And we will also declare how much is there. But for the Western Cape, from where I sit, I don't see anything that prevents us from saying, from these resources in one bag now, even though separated by lines of accountability, we then say, what are the problems that require resources here, as outlined by these people? They talk about a police station, they talk about cars, they talk about all of those. Then we must say, what is it that the mayor thinks he can do out of this list of priorities for the people of Cape Town from his resources? And then we say to MEC, what is it that you think you can pick up from this? And then we'll also say, what is it that we can do from what we have? And then we'll be working for the people of Cape Town, not for ourselves, if we do so. And for that reason, you and I have to agree that we need to call a meeting before end of the week next week. We are here up to Thursday. We're in Cape Town. And we need to take one. If we can't have a day, MSC, we'll take a night, one of the two. Now, you and the mayor, you will host me anywhere with dinner and any other thing. Then we will talk about this as a principle to say, you are MEC for safety, I am Minister of Police, responsible for safety. As mayor, he also has a department, and therefore, overall, he is into it. How do we work together? Because there are these problems. All of us have a problem with these problems. So how do we then use this resource to deal with this problem? Because if people of Cape Town continue to complain like this, it means that the mayor is not performing his duties the way people expect. Then it means provincial government. Then it means the same for national government. Because South Africa has a unitary government. It just has levels, local, provincial. We don't have a federal system. So what affects MEC, it affects me. So if I bring you down, you will come down with me, national. But if you work and the mayor works, then to an extent that if they saved here, I will give you freedom, MEC, to claim that it is you who is doing this in the Western Cape, without referring to me. I'll say, no, fine, you can make the statement, I as MEC, I'm working very hard, look at safety in the Western. I'll be fine with that, I won't contest it. Same applies to me. So this is the first thing that we want to take forward, and by Thursday, and if I have to extend my stay to Friday, I will do so. If you are too busy to meet me next week. And I'm saying the meeting will happen during the day or during the night. But it must happen by Thursday so that we can share this information especially ourselves who are here, and the mayor, and I think the mayor is aware of these matters, but it will be important to share these matters afresh and then take a fresh look at how we deal with this. Now, let me go to number 2. Number 2, in Hanover Park, I'm hearing something that I've never heard anywhere else, and I don't want to get used to it. That someone can be seen running with a firearm, and when law enforcement tried to catch him, to disarm that person throws a firearm somewhere and the community takes it and they hide it. This is the first time I hear such. Now, I want that firearm. That's the second thing that I'm saying. We want that firearm. It must be put on the table. Now, National Commissioner, I want that firearm. Please go and get it. There has to be a way that we get that firearm. We are going to have a problem here with the National Commissioner and Deputy Commissioners and station commanders that we are aware now that there's a firearm in a particular community and we don't do anything. So that firearm is adding on the firearms that we are complaining about, that more than half of the murders probably are being committed via firearms that are illegal. And this is one of them probably that is illegal and it's out there. Who took it and where it is now, the people of Hanover Park will have to tell us. They will have to tell us. They will have to produce that firearm. Now, I'm told that, well, I won't say how we need to go about, but you who come from Hanover Park, you'll have to give us that firearm. But because you have taken that firearm, you must regard yourselves as having taken. It's like what you do when you take somebody's money. When they call it back, it must have interest. So we want that firearm plus interest. Other firearms that are there. That is how National Commissioner will have to approach it. And it's not going to be massaging each other. We just want that firearm so that we are able to say we've started working and a report has been given to us. And what is it that we're doing about that? So I don't know who is the station commander of Hanover Park. Who is the commander? So we want that firearm, plus interest. Now, let me move on. Somebody spoke about the strategy, plural policing, with their involvement, spoke about 1996 crime prevention strategy. Let me put together this thing that talks about the police station. Everything that you have said about the police station. Let me put that together with what Reverend Doctor said about socio-economic system, the image and so on, put together Makasa issue, put together what Lukongolo said, if I heard you well. Let me put together all those questions by saying the following. One, just in the past 3 or so days, we had a meeting in the office here with a group of people who flew all the way from Johannesburg and said they wanted to meet us. They wanted to meet the minister. So we met those people. We tried to say to them, wait for us until we go back to Gauteng. They said, no, we have money. We can buy tickets. We can fly ourselves. We just want to come and see you. But there was something good that came out of them about what model we can use at community level to fight crime. A very interesting model. Yes, we have CPFs at various levels of functionality. But that model took my imagination. And possibly, if it is combined with the model of CPF, it can produce what we wanted to produce. So we will be following that thing up earnestly so that we have a clearer picture of how we can work following that model with the communities, with CPF or CPFs, and then take that partnership with CPFs forward. But on our side, we've already said we're not happy as a department that we don't seem to have a functional definition of a police station, a functional police station. And because somebody says, no, our police station is a spaza shop. It means that this is a definition of a police station. It's a spaza shop. Somebody said something else about the police station. That lady was wearing a red. She said, "Oh yeah, you are the ones who describing police stations here as spaza shops." Now there could be so. We are working out a definition of a police station in South Africa. Characteristics, norms and standards of a functional police station. Now, we want to meet you halfway because you want to work with us. We don't want to come with a spaza shop to yourselves. We don't want to come with an image of a police station and functionality of a police station that makes us look very bad as the state. We want to come to you with a functional police station, even if we don't meet that criteria for now, but we'll work within a particular time frame towards meeting all that criteria, all those norms and standards, so that in each and every community where police stations are found, they are distinct structures that represent the presence of the state amongst yourselves, especially from the perspective of safety and security. Up to now, as far as I'm concerned, in health, hospitals, they may not be state-of-art. Clinics, they may not be state-of-art. But I haven't heard anyone referring to a clinic as a spaza shop. Schools, yes, they may not be, but possibly they are better. And other state infrastructure. My assumption is that we're putting our image at risk as people who are safeguarding the safety of people by subjecting ourselves to infrastructure that doesn't inspire hope and confidence that people who work here can actually give us safety and so on. People are now beginning to feel that we are to be pitied. We pity them. They are poor, and surely even our guns, they will think that they are not functional and all of that because of the image of the police station. and so on. So we have to meet halfway. We are not going to wait until what National Commissioner Masimula is saying. I'm quite happy with it, saying in some of these police stations that you are complaining about, plans are being rolled out to build them. We may not be able to do everything at the same time, but we must be able to say we are starting here. Going forward, we're dealing with this, we're dealing with this, whether it's a new thing or something that have been spoken about before, but has not happened. But I did see your reaction when you raised the issue of Mfulen, and when he responded, you appeared to be very satisfied and happy. And ours is to monitor and ensure that we deliver and deliver properly and on time this time around on these police stations and others. So we want to improve that image. We want to improve that functionality. We want to improve on resources. That is what we will be discussing. And I'm hoping that by the time we meet the province, we meet the city, General Masimula and team will have worked out a kind, together with the station commanders, some kind of a needs analysis, whether it is infrastructure or any other equipment that is necessary for policing, to improve policing in this district. We will have that list, so that when we meet, we don't meet on the empty just to discuss a principle, but we look at this list and we say, Premier or MSC in this instance, what is it that you think you can do within what time frame? And the city says so, and we say so, so that we prove to you that we are fit to govern. At the moment, I think you think that you don't have government. And when I say so, I'm not talking about local, or I'm talking about government as government combined. Because to people, government is government. It doesn't matter which level. It's just government. So we want to come to you as a front, as government, and say, you do have government in South Africa. And it's not a failing government. And it can provide safety for you. Not only that, but we can deal with the gangs phenomenon, which we are undertaking to you. We have to, and we will. Because what he's saying there, say, look at South America. I'm sure things develop this way, and people take things for granted, and these things on the ground develop and develop. I'm learning that Kenya has sent police to one of the countries in South America to try, because they say half of the streets of that country are ruled by gangs. You can imagine if half of Cape Town, half of any other city or town is now ruled by gangs. What kind of a country is that? Because it would mean that half of the country, it would mean that we're sharing power with gangs now. You have government, legitimate, elected, and then you have another government that is running in the streets, that is not elected, that is just there on its own. And then you lose the country. You cease to have a country if it's like that. So I think I'm done now with all this. Earlier on, I don't know whether Reverend Doctor is still, you are there. Earlier on, before you came, we said we want the deputy ministers and myself, we will be putting together a small group of people who want to fight crime, but by design and thinking, thought people on crime. in the form of a think tank, so that while we deal with crime on the street, but we begin to think deeper in terms of the problem. So when you talk about socio-economic, so when we call you, come prepared to say, what is it that your mind is on when you talk about economy at a local level that can feed people? Those people who are involved in this because of their situation and so on, and it becomes the economy, this thing of drugs. What other economy can we take? What other economy can we develop, and so on? So we will be pursuing you as a result, flowing from what you said here. And I thought that it's a good meeting because we have a reverend doctor, and doctors, they like thinking most of the time, and therefore we'll be inviting you to talk about this and the few pastors that are here, so that we think in a corner and say, what is it, what will be the roadmap to establishing a fully fledged, multi-dimensional or multidisciplinary kind of a team that will think, will lead in thinking about the situation in which we are, so that we reverse it from all perspectives. And of course, I think there are people who are dealing with partnerships within the police themselves, and then we sit together and think along. And it will also help, because we want to release the hands of police and their attention from socio-economic issues to confront crime, but not in a combined fashion where somebody makes an excuse. No, I'm doing this because talking about causes. Somebody spoke at length about causes. Deal with causes. Deal with this in a comprehensive, exactly what together there. We are not going to be dealing with just what we see and forget where it comes from. We are going to be very active, very deep, very comprehensive on this matter. That's why we are thinking about this think tank. That's why we want to strengthen the lines of cooperation between departments, especially social development, because we want police to confront just the crimes and criminals that are accompanying them. So understand us to be regarding you, your CPFs and all of yourselves in your formations as a resource to us, and a resource that we take seriously, especially because we're not talking about people of another country or another province. We will be talking to you as people who are here, confronted by problems here, and in an area where you grew up. Some of these problems caused by your own children, your own nieces, your own brothers and sisters here. And so we should be able to find a solution on this. But having said this, because these are the things that we're going to have to do, move quite faster on. Commissioner has spoken about additional people that they are looking at, and when he sat down, we did speak about what Commissioner Pategel is complaining about, because he's saying police are resigning, they are retiring fast and opting for other positions, and the city is a competitor, taking other people from South African police services and then joining the city and so on. Now, we would want to say to National Commissioner, having analyzed the situation briefly, he must speak to those amongst yourselves who are about to retire. Depending on your performance and all of this and so on, stop you from retiring for a while. Because we have a battle there, you can't be retiring when there's a battle here. So he needs to put some brakes on this matter, and we'll do this thing. We'll do this thing. So that after applying their mind and looking at the problem and look at your profile and your performance, maybe a number of you stop retiring. Then we'll also discuss with the City of Cape Town to say, look elsewhere. For now, we're busy now. Don't recruit these people. Because we are busy now. We want to concentrate on this and deal with this matter. And those of you who are thinking about dying, we will ask you to stop dying at the moment. Let's focus on this. Don't run away. Let's focus on this. But there are those practical things that we really are wanting to do with the City of Cape Town, with the police officers themselves. Because when you retire, sometimes you retire at the wrong time with skills that immediately cause havoc from behind. And therefore, we'll be looking at that with a view to dealing with these particular problems that we have until we are able to overcome them. Then we can say, so that you yourself, when you retire in your home, you are fine. Because at the moment you retire, you may be a victim of this crime that you are leaving behind tomorrow. So it's better to hold on a little bit, and then we do this thing together, and then you can then think of doing that. So we're going to be optimizing on all the resources that we have, all of them. At the same time, we will be recruiting, because we are recruiting, as General Masimula has said. So we look at all these things together. On infrastructure, I've already made a comment on that we will be dealing with. In fact, there's an outstanding meeting that we need to deal with, just to put our infrastructure program at a high level, so that we're able to build police stations faster. The young man who spoke there, I don't know whether he's out now, yourself there, is it you? There's a tall guy who was standing there. Or is still you? Yeah, I saw you. It was nice to hear a young person like yourself speaking the way you are speaking, because this is where your energies as young people need to be directed, protecting the people. That is why we want you to direct your energies to. So we want a number of other young people to come to the front, speak like you, and say, if we are well organized, we are guided, and along the legal routes to fight this problem, we are there, and we like what you are saying, and you are welcome, and we'll be working with you and other young people who are prepared. There are two things that we must stop, National Commissioner, that I noted that this thing must stop. The first one is all these protection fees. I know people all over South Africa, they go to these mamas who are selling things on the street, and they say, from now onwards, you pay so much, and so on. Protection fee, from nowhere. And they tell you, if you don't pay, you are gone, and all of those things. So we need to stop it. And it means first we must just get information. Somebody must collect information on this. Who are these people who are collecting and saying they are protecting people? And those are the people that we need to confront first. At some point, the National Commissioner will be aware. I liked what I heard. I mean, it was long before I was appointed in KZN. Some of the efforts by police. You can't have people who are doing that to people, collecting money and saying they are protecting others and so on, but collecting money from poor people and so on. It can't happen. So we do need an action plan, Commissioner, collecting information, devising a quick strategy to confront this, but it must stop. Now, finally, I want to say this, that while on the agenda with the MSC and Mayor, there will be an issue of CCTVs, because I've picked up something about it. So it will be on the agenda. Those who will be assisting us will be writing, will take that to the agenda. And the last thing I want to say, these gangs must stop now. These gangs must stop. Now, the commanders here, each one of them, those who spoke, were saying, no, they were calling them by name. There's this gang, this name, that gang, this name. It's like teams of football who are playing. Now, I know that team, I know that team. Now, commanders, I want us to end these gangs. To the extent that they are now known, they are leaders, they are members, and all of that, because they are the source of all these problems that we are having here. They are the source of criminality. They are not like soccer teams. You mustn't regard them as soccer teams or social teams that are doing this and that. They are there. And there's criminality in each one of these, in one way or the other. And therefore, we need to get to a level where we say we no longer accept a situation where you are a member, you are a leader, you are what? And my head is telling me that subject to advice. Because you know them, we need to meet them. We need to call them. So, ministry organizes a meeting, commanders, every level, we call gangs, and we meet them, and we say to them, you are gangs. You are the leader of this gang, you are the leader of this gang there, you are the leader. And we say, look, you need to resign, part ways with this and your activities of this gang, and see what they will say. I'm from KZN. I believe in. I believe that if there's a fellow, you must also come forward. You can't be praying somewhere in a corner that that person stop their activity. It won't happen. So we will be organizing a meeting. So it means that there are two other meetings. She wants us to go to Hanover. And she spoke well. She says the purpose of the meeting in Hanover Park. No, what? Mannenberg. Yeah, not Hanover. Hanover Park is, we want a firearm, there's no meeting. That's all. Now, Mannenberg, there are two people who spoke from Mannenberg, but the lady there said, she wants the meeting for us to talk heart to heart. So we'll go there with our hearts. And ministry, I'm sure you are taking, you have the name, and we'll be organizing a meeting in Mannenberg to talk heart to heart. I'll be very eager to hear what this heart-to-heart matter will be, but it will be necessary. It will also be necessary because that man, your neighbor there, said, Mannenberg is the breeding ground for gangs. So I hope that on the agenda, he will unpack that. How is Mannenberg a center for breeding gangs and so on. And then, so all of these meetings must then precede the meeting where General Masimula will be advising us how to stop gangs in the Western Cape. I see all these things that I'm talking about. They are just dealing with crime in a planned way, because we are entering a long journey. It's not going to be a once-off thing. It's going to take quite a while. But there are things that we need to do quite quickly that Commissioner is dealing with. So there are things ourselves that we're going to do quickly to stop these crimes and so on. These people who are dying every day, people who are buried every day, firearms used every day. Those matters, including the meetings that I'm talking about, all of them. But then think tank, long-term issues that we need to go on with. But all of these activities must have one objective at the end, which is a meeting that commanders will have to hold. What do we do to stop this before it stops us? What do we do to stop this? And gangs must stop. So as you move on, you must think about this. How do we stop gangs from Cape Town, from operating the way they are, from doing whatever that is happening? That's my take for the meeting, and therefore, at this stage, I do want once more to thank all the station commanders. That question that you asked, one of you asked, what are the short term? We're not in a position to outline everything, but I heard your question, and we do have answers for those. But we want to leave it at that, just to say we heard you, we understand you. But it's a matter that we are dealing with on the side. But let me thank commanders, let me thank everybody who came, let me thank the community and your contributions. And when we meet next, we won't be dealing with the same issues, same complaints, same everything. We will have acted on all these matters, or at least some of them, to a large extent, because from where I sit, there are not a lot of impossible lists of things. We have already agreed with General Masimula that when we leave here, we'll go via one police station. They said they are going to identify, I don't know which one. Which one? Maizenberg. It's one of those that they are complaining about because we don't want all of you to talk about police stations, complaining, and then we don't go and see at least one, how it looks like and how it is before we do other things for the day. So for now, understand us to be extremely concerned about the situation of safety for you as individual citizens of the country, your families, and the whole of the communities. And understand us to be undertaking that we are going out there using this information and the information that we already have to deal with the situation, but then understand us that we can't win the war alone. We need you more than before. Even where you think you have information that is sensitive, where you think you have information that is very, very, very sensitive, approach us on the side. We won't expose you to say this is information we got from so and so. We will contain it in us. Even if you want to talk about a station commissioner or involved in whatever, I'm not saying they are, I'm just saying we will deal with whatever information. I heard one person saying, hey, you were creating an impression that some of the police are not. Yeah, you said something that left an image of a situation that needs to be rehabilitated. We'll look at that so that we don't have such. But I'm saying, if you have sensitive information, don't ask yourself, how will you share this? Because we're doing it already with many people who are coming forward to say, Minister, there is this and this. We have a number of people who are very trustworthy. There's Advocate Piccoli there. He's special advisor. I know him to be very, very trustworthy. It will be, so you can approach him and say, Advocate Piccoli, there's this. So if something happens to me, it will mean that you will have given my name or sold my name out. Or you can approach me, or you can approach deputy ministers and so on. But we do need sensitive information. We do need critical information, especially on individuals that we may be interested in. I like this word that is used by police. They say a person of interest. I like that. So if you have persons of interest linked to certain activities, there's no way, there's no other way. Look, I like speaking directly. People are dying already. In other words, you are already dying. Okay? You are keeping information to yourself because you are afraid of dying. That if you give us that information, they will come and kill you. But in the meantime, they are already doing it. So you may as well, before, and give us information, therefore. And it will even contribute in preventing further damage. And so let's meet halfway. But for now, if any of you right now have, go to Advocate Piccoli and say, I'm so and so, and what, and we get that information, and we promise you we will work on that. But if there is any other time that has arrived to deal with gangs, including those that are present in this meeting, if they are, it is this time. It has arrived. Thank you very much.